Bhadrachalam Ramadas Garu is a poet saint from 17th century, a devotee par excellence. He composed hundreds of songs which are sung even today. It actually accounts to the main body of compositions for Carnatic music. When he sang, it was an outpouring of all his emotions. This is the dimension of devotion, where devotion is not just about sweetness of love, but everything. His anger, his fear, his anxiety, his struggles, his love, his passion, everything was devoted to Rama. Because this is what a devotee means. A devotee is using the objective devotion as a means to dissolve into it. This is a technology of obliterating yourself. Bhadrachalam Ramadas is doing this in a very passionate and fantastic way, and he's been an inspiration for generations and still is and will continue to be. On this Ramanavami day, please listen to some of his compositions, very sweet, childlike, but profound.
Ye tirugananu dayachuchadavo inavam shottama Rama natarama Bhavasagarami nalinadhalekshana Rama Shri Raghunandana Sitaramana Sritajana Poshaka Rama Karunyalaya Bhaktavaradhaninu Kannadikanupurama Krura karma mulu Neraka chesiti neramulancha kurama Dharidryamu pariharamu chayave Daivashikamani Rama Dharidryamu pariharamu chayave Daivashikamani Rama Vasavanuta Ramadasa Poshaka Vandhanamayodhya Rama Dasarchita Makabayamu Sanghave Dasharati Raghurama Dasarchita Makabayamu Sanghave Dasharati Raghurama Dasarchita Makabayamu Sanghave Dasharati Raghurama Rama 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 Rama
In America, everybody drinks water with 3/4 of the tumbler being full with ice cubes. Now what I say will be unpopular. You drink water only within 4 degrees variation upwardly and downward. America, everybody drinks water with 3/4 of the tumbler being full with ice cubes. Now what I say now will be unpopular. When in the yogic culture, if you are a yogi, if you're on the path of the inner transformation, you want to transform your system to another dimension of possibility, then you drink water only which is within 4 degrees variation upwardly and downward. That is, your normal body temperature is somewhere around 36 degrees centigrade. So you can drink up to 40 degrees or 32 degrees. This is the best way to consume. If you are a student, that is, you want to absorb knowledge, you're not looking for transformation, you're only interested in absorbing knowledge, then you must drink within 8 degrees variation. That is, you can drink up to 44 degrees and 28 degrees. If you are a householder who is not interested in any transformation or learning, you just want to manage your wife and children and husband, that's all your thing is, then you can drink up to 12 degrees variation from both sides. Beyond that is not considered conducive for anybody. So that's an unpopular thing to say, but it's important that whatever you consume is somewhere in the range of the body temperature, not too far away from that, because it will disturb the way the water within the system behaves by consuming water or any substance which is very, very far away from the body temperature. I know the ice cream loving people and will scream at me now. I'm just telling you the ideal conditions. How many of you want to live in the ideal range or being conscious of it wherever possible, staying there is a good thing to do. If you don't feel thirsty, if you don't drink water, nothing is gonna happen, you're gonna be fine. It's only in America you will die if you don't drink water. Nowhere else people simply drink water. When they get thirsty, they drink water, otherwise they're fine, even in a desert. It's only in America, in cold climate, everybody's carrying a bottle and sipping continuously because the marketing machines have done this to them, that they must drink lots of water. Excessive consumption of water, especially if it's done in small sips, body absorbs. When it absorbs, the sodium levels, which are very delicately balanced, will drop. The rest of the body also is affected but may not be noticeable, but in the brain, sodium levels dropping will lead to swelling of the brain. This does not mean your brain is growing. Swelling means it's a kind of sickness, okay? Not expansion of the brain, it's swelling up because of lack of sodium content. So because there's not enough sodium, more water goes into the brain, trying to supply the required sodium to keep the balance. So more water in your brain means you will slosh. Psychological imbalances will come. See, if you drink lots of water at one go, body will decide how much to absorb, how much to throw out. But if you keep sipping through the day, body kind of gets deceived and tends to absorb more water than it should. But let's say right now you drink 2 liters of water, all of it is not going to go into the system. What is needed, it'll take, rest of it will be shunted out. Nobody need to drink water simply because you think it's a good thing to do. When you feel thirsty, you must drink water just to ensure you're drinking enough. Drink 10% more than what you actually need, a couple of cups more, just to ensure that you don't drink less. You have a certain amount of time before you can drink, that it's not an emergency. At the same time, when you need water, when you're thirsty, if you don't drink, it'll cause damage to the system. The damage to the heart is immense when the water that is needed is not there in the system. But when I say water, it is not just about drinking liquid water, you must eat high water content foods. If you eat a fruit, it's nearly 90% water. Vegetables and other things are over 70% water. When you consume food, at least it must be level with the percentage of water content in your own body. So any food that you eat should be at least 70% water content. So this is why vegetables, fruits must be part of your diet so that it is there. If you can find a place where there are no sounds of machines and your cell phone will not tink-tink, quietly if you can listen to the sound of the trees, the breeze, the water, just the natural sounds, if you pay enough attention, tremendous things will happen to you. Many times I've been in the South Indian, they're kind of tropical rainforests. The longest I've been there through the jungle for about 23 days alone. No any kind of support, no cell phone for sure those days and not even a torchlight. And fourth day I ran out of the food that I was carrying, so I lived off the forest. By about eighth day, I lost my jacket and one half of my shirt because I was chased by some animals and by that whole thing. I had half a shirt and pants and I walked through… this is elephant country, tiger country. I saw tigers, panthers, elephants, all kinds of… the wild buffalo, various kinds of animals, very close quarters. But at the end of it, when you look back, what is the biggest impact on you? It's the insects. It's in the nights, the orchestra that goes on in the rainforest. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And the timing, every day, night 2:15 means one group will stop and the other group will start. Really, their sense of time, every day, exactly by the second, one group will start, another group will start. And you don't know what they're talking about. They're definitely talking something that you don't know, for sure. They're not just making dumb noises. So if you just sit there and listen and listen and listen and listen, slowly you start noticing there is a pattern and an organization to this, which is far bigger than any human symphonies that you can achieve, far more complex and far more intense. I think it's very important for every human being, particularly if you have children. Vacation need not be Disneyland, I'm not against it, but one trip is enough, all silly stuff which excites you. Vacation should be into nature. If you can take your children, walk in a jungle, not in a resort, just live on a mountain, expose them to nature, I will tell you, you will bring up your children not only physically healthy, mentally healthy, far more sensible and accepting and wonderful kind of human beings if they know how to… because once you go into nature, whose son you are, whose daughter you are, what are you in the city doesn't matter, okay? It's very important that everybody experiences that, otherwise you start creating your own illusions as to who you are and you start believing it for sure. Only death and disease tells people who they are. It's very important, especially if you have children, it's extremely important that vacation does not mean movies, vacation does not mean some, I don't know, silly entertainment of doing this and that. It's important there is some connection with the roots of who we are and we listen to the right kind of things, what makes life buzz. If you go into the prison, it is a more disciplined society than the society you're seeing outside. I've never gone into the prison and come out without tears in my eyes because there is just pain in the air.
My question is regarding mukti. I'm not understanding what we are taking when we ask for mukti.
Do you drink coffee every morning?
Yeah, yes.
Suppose you can wake up in the morning and without coffee you can still be very alive,
Yes.
one level of mukti. Similarly, there are many compulsions. Once you have come with a physical form, there are many compulsions. Some have multiplied their compulsions, some have subtracted their compulsions and brought it to the minimum. Compulsion means just this. Compulsion means something else rules you. But one thing that human being values most is freedom, isn't it? See, 20% of our time, resource and energies are spent in the prisons, both in Tamil Nadu and United States. If you go into the prison, actually it is a more disciplined society than the society you're seeing outside, and more efficient society because food comes bang on time, never late. Somebody opens the door for you, closes for you, somebody turns on the light for you, switches it off for you. It's actually very efficient. If you know, if you're very meditative, it's just great. This is what we have done to the prison. Now you see in Coimbatore Central Prison, you come and see, for 136 years of its history, every day there used to be somebody in the solitary imprisonment because of the mischief that they do inside the prison. But after we did these simple programs there, for many months nobody went into it. And in United States, if you look at it, even in this prison, even in Indian prisons, their nourishment levels are better in the prison than outside for most of them. Their discipline is better, they're well exercised, they are strong, agile, everything. Only thing is, if you walk into the prison, there is pain in the air. I've never gone into the prison and come out without tears in my eyes because there is just pain in the air. That's how important human freedom is. Most people may not be going anywhere, even in their house, they may not be going. But the simple thing that they are bolting the door, not somebody else, that's how much of a difference it makes. That's how important it is to be free. So this is the highest value. So, you know, in this culture, everything is built in. 2 days in a month, you're not supposed to eat so that the compulsiveness of food will go away. 1 day or actually 12 days in a year, you're not supposed to sleep, so the compulsiveness, sleep will go away. Like this, many things have been built in which we are just throwing it away without understanding anything about it. Today, after billion-dollar research happens and they come back to us, now they'll tell us, oh yes, this is a great research. We have looked at life and said, this is the way to exist. Various levels of compulsions. Start working one at a time, become free, become free, become free. See, when you want to become free, toying with the idea of freedom is no good. What is binding you? That's what you need to break, isn't it? Huh?
Yes.
So what is binding you? What is compulsive in your life? That's what you need to attend to. Freedom is a fanciful idea. It will make you lala in your head, it's no good. What is binding you, if you work on that, if you get rid of it, you become free. If there is a next level of binding, let's break that. If there is a next level of binding, we'll break that. If you break all levels of… if you go on breaking one at a time, someday you will break all of them, isn't it so?
Yes.
Or you think it's infinite binding? No.
No.
Bondage cannot be infinite, freedom can be infinite, isn't it? The entire movement, what I'm heading right now, is towards moving the humanity from religion to responsibility. If something is going right, it's me. something going wrong. We've lived like this for too long, it's time to change this. We need to understand the source of all our problems are within us, and if we want solutions, they are within us, nowhere else. So moving the world from religion to responsibility, only then human potential will be fully explored. Otherwise, everybody has an excuse for all the rubbish they do, and usually they have divine sanction for every stupid thing that they do. See, this is the nature of human intelligence. If you do something stupid today, tonight your intelligence will bother you, why did I do this? But if it is God endorsed or scripture endorsed, you can do idiotic things with great confidence. You don't have to turn back and look. This needs to go. We need to move humanity into a more responsible function. If this doesn't happen, we keep looking up and doing all kinds of terrible things to each other and to ourselves. This is happening all the time. A time has come where human intellect is firing like never before. More human beings on the planet can think for themselves than ever before in the history of humanity. This is the time when heavens are crumbling in people's minds. How many of you think you will go to heaven? After your time is done, of course. You'll go to heaven? Okay, all those who made a hell out of themselves want to go to heaven. This happened This happened in Alabama. A Sunday school teacher was going on full fire, but unfortunately the audience were not like you, they were tiny tots, catch them young policy. Full fire he was going on in his rhetoric, and he stopped and asked, "What do you have to do to go to heaven?" So little Mary stood up and said, "If I scrub this church floor every Sunday morning, I will go to heaven, absolutely." Another little girl stood up and said, "If I share 50% of my pocket money to my less privileged friend, I will go to heaven, correct?" Another little boy stood up and said, "If I help people who are in need, I will go to heaven, correct?" Little Tommy in the back bench stood up and said, "You gotta die first." You got to die first, that's a qualification. And when you die, if you have not done anything eco-friendly, one good thing you will do, we will either bury your body or burn your body or cut it and put it to the birds, depending on what culture you come from. Something we will do, one thing is we'll put the earth back to earth. It's a good thing that everybody will do at the end. Nobody goes with their body. So you left your body here and went to heaven. What is in heaven, you must know. You know what's in heaven? Oh, you must know, you're going In Hindu heaven, food is good. If you're a foodie, that's where you go. In another place, there are white-gowned ladies floating around in the clouds. If you like that kind of ambience, you go there. In another place, you'll encounter virgin problems. If that's what you're looking for, that's where you go. But one thing is, you left your body here and went to heaven. You don't have a body. What do you do with good food and virgins? It is time we move this humanity from religion to responsibility. I want all of you with it. Thank you very much.
But right from his childhood, Shiva has so fired him up. And just some 25 kilometers away, there's a famous Shiva temple. And he feels Shiva is calling him. But his life is not his own, he cannot make the trip. Any number of times he presented his case to the landlord, just one day trip. I will go to the temple and come back. Landlord always said, today there is weeding, day after tomorrow there is fertilizing, day after tomorrow there is some other work, you have to till the land. Now, one day you can't waste, what do you think? As it is, you're a useless fellow. One day you want to waste in a life. Any number of times presented the case. They started building up with a name. He wants to see Shiva. This time he went and stood in front of the landlord with the different kind of dignity that a bonded labor never knows, not supposed to have. And the landlord started off, "You idiot, last time your mother was sick, before that your sister was getting married, before that your grandmother died 3 times over. Now you want to go to the temple, nothing doing." He said, "I'll do all the work today, tomorrow, just a day trip, I will go and come." Then the landlord, in some moment, just this new dignity in the man, the new energy that was reverberating in him, in a moment the landlord gave in and said, "Okay, go and come back before evening." Then he realized what he's done. Then he said, "Before you leave, all the 40 acres you must till and go. Entire 40 acres you must plow. It's evening. Before morning you must plow and then go to the temple." He was not foolish enough even to attempt that. He just went to bed. His entire system was reverberating. He knew he will go to the temple no matter what's the consequence. A new kind of energy has been reverberating through his entire body. Morning before he woke up, there was a big commotion in the village. What is it? Entire 40 acres was plowed. And he came out and looked, he couldn't believe it. The landlord was standing there with his mouth open. Landlord's wife and children started coming and falling at this man's feet, whose name we do not know. Generally he is referred to as the tiller. He couldn't believe this. Then he knew, he always thought, by appealing to Shiva, he can move the laws of nature, he can bend the laws of nature. But the laws of men are so real that you can never bend them. But here, the laws of men and gods and nature all bent. Suddenly people came, put silver coins in his hand. Somebody put a food hamper in his hand, somebody gave him a stick and said, "He's gone to the temple, he's a chosen one." Shiva himself has come and plowed 40 acres of land. He went to the temple with great joy in his heart. But having lived the life of an outcast, he's not forgotten that he cannot cross the threshold of the temple. He stood there. Of course they wouldn't let him into the temple. He knew they're not going to bend the rules, and all he wants to do is just see once. The big Nandi which was sitting in his way, the Nandi moved to one side. And later on people called him Nandanar, became a famous sage. Nobody ever knew his name because he's just known as a tiller. But his entire life is just this one thing. You cannot even call him a devotee, just intrigued, unwilling to let go of the intrigue. The problem with most logical minds is something intrigues you, then you give a stupid explanation to it and you kill it right there. Most minds are incapable of living with intrigue. They want a stupid answer to it today and they'll come to a conclusion tonight before they go to bed. Oh, this is like this, that is like that. Every idiot on the planet thinks he's a scientist because they read some textbook in the school. The stupid textbook is no more relevant. Anybody, any man of science will not accept this stupid stuff anymore. There is so much here, there is so much everywhere, unanswered. You don't have the intelligence or the means to answer these questions. Just remain with that. That is a sincere human being. One who knows that he doesn't know the answers is a sincere human being. One who finds a silly logical answer is a foolish human being. But he thinks…
Graduate, and it's true, then you're very superstitious and religious, you're nothing scientific about you. You think night means just absence of light? Or there is a phenomenal change in the very way the life happens from day to night? You ask every insect, bird, animal, tree, even the rock, it knows night is different. If you sit here with little openness, you will know it's not just about light. If you close your eyes, even in the daytime there's no light, in the night also there's no light. But is there no difference? Every meditator knows what's the difference, isn't it? So somebody will say, this is all rubbish, there's just absence of sunlight, that's it. That's what they're saying about the eclipse. Doesn't matter. I'm telling you, during the eclipse time, don't cook food and eat, keep it and then eat, don't do that. Eat before or after. because this is life sense, this is not internet science. The greatest ignorance is knowing that you're not ignorant, that's the whole problem. All the internet scientists, I please request you, eat some fresh food. Keep yourself healthy, well, perceptive, not to me, to life. Eat during the eclipse if you wish. You won't die. Inertia will build up. If you don't mind the inertia, anyway you're drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, doing things, maybe it won't make any difference for you. Possibly it doesn't. If you take a high-end car today and go and pump gasoline in any of the Indian gas stations, which is 87 octane, your car will stop within a few kilometers. You need to buy special gas and put it into it. Why? Because it's high performance. So if you want to be high performance, what kind of fuel goes into you, you look at it carefully. You are a junk machine. Eat whatever, drink whatever, what does it matter anyway? Live whichever way you want. There's really no problem, okay? So, if you are disappointed that you did not die by eating during the eclipse, I'm sorry, you're superstitious, and the nature of life here is such that the earth, the sun and the moon have significant impact on this life. If you're conscious of its ways, you can ride this and make your life effortless and easy. If you're not conscious, these same cycles could crush you and everything you will struggle with. And you will suffer enormous prejudice within you, because prejudice and resentment will make you suffer more than physical disease or pain or injury. Please don't stay there. Try some fresh fruits and vegetables. It could help. Whatever next eclipse comes, one eclipse you eat old food, another eclipse you eat fresh food. Experiment and see. Pusalar was a mystic, a great devotee, but very poor, lives begging for his food. These are poverty by choice. The king of that kingdom, a great emperor, took enormous pains to build a large Shiva temple. Using thousands of men and enormous material, he built a huge temple and he fixed the consecration and the opening ceremony for the temple on a certain day. The previous night when he went to sleep, in his dream, Shiva appeared and said, "I'm sorry, I will not be able to attend the opening of your temple because I have to go to Pusalar's temple." The king woke up with a start and he couldn't believe that Shiva comes and tells him that he cannot come to his temple when he has built the greatest possible temple, and he is going to some Pusalar's temple which is better than his. So he wanted to go and see. So he went looking for Pusalar. Just outside the town, in a small hut, Pusalar was sitting with his eyes closed. The king walked in and brought Pusalar out and he said, "Where is your temple?" Shiva himself appeared and said, "Your temple is greater than mine and he is going to your temple, not mine. If he is going there, even I wish to go there. Where is your temple?" Husserl looked embarrassed. He said, "Oh, my temple? No, it is not of stone and brick. I've just been building this temple in my heart. Yes, it is true that Shiva promised me that he will enter my temple tomorrow. But how did you know?" Now, what this incident is about is that if you create a structure in the heart of your mind and empower it with your energies, or even better, if you empower it with the fundamental consciousness which makes you alive, then it is more real than temples of stone. What you build with stone and brick, what the physical realities that we're building around us, it's far more real than that.
A marvelous poet saint born in a place called Mudanur in Karnataka. His name was Dasimaya. He was such a fine weaver. Once he gave himself to make an unusually large turban cloth with very intricate and fine designs in it, which took him months to make. He made this, and then because this is his livelihood also, he took it to the market. The cloth was so fine and so big, nobody even wanted to ask the price. It should be too expensive. He could not sell his cloth. Then he was walking back with his fine turban cloth. There an old man was sitting and shivering. He looked at Dasimaya and asked him, "I'm shivering like this, can you give me that cloth?" Dasimaya took the cloth and gave it to him. That man opened up the cloth, tore it into pieces. One piece he tied it around his head, another piece around his waist, another piece, small pieces around his feet, another two around his hands. He tore it into many bits and he sat there. Dasimaya just looked on. Then the old man looked at him, "Is there any problem?" Dasimaya said, "No, the cloth is yours, you can do whatever you want." Then Dasimaya also took the old man home to feed him, but there was nothing much at home. So his wife struggled, "You brought a guest, there's not even enough to feed you. You brought a guest, what to do?" He said, "You cook whatever is there and serve him, we will see later." Then the old man was Shiva himself. He came into his real form and produced a handful of rice and put it into their granary in the house. So that became Akshaya. Never was this granary ever empty in his whole life. He used this to feed innumerable number of people all his life. This is Dasimaya. His devotion, his poetry and his magnificent presence, which transformed any number of people. People started calling him Devara Dasimaya. Devara means one who belongs to God.
There was a sage in northern part of Karnataka who is today revered and celebrated as one of the pillars of the Veera Shaiva community. His name was Allama Prabhu. A yogi came seeking Allama because he heard great things about Allama. He wanted to compete with him. this yogi who came to meet him, he was a little over 200 and odd years. With very rigorous yoga, mastering the elements within the system, he hardened his body in such a way, he defied age. So this is his pride. Everybody that he knew has fallen dead, but the man lives and strong as a youth, rock-like his body. So he came to Allama, they met on a bank of a river, and he told Allama, "Say, I am the real yogi. If you want to test me, you take your sword, hit me on my head, see what happens." Allama said, "Okay," and took his sword and smashed it on his head. It just bounced back like you hit a rock. So the yogi said, "This is my strength. No sword can slice me. I am practically immortal." He asked, "What can you do?" Allama laughed and said, "Well, you can also use your sword." So he hesitated, but Allama did not look so strong, rock-like, he looked normal. Allama said, "Go ahead, don't worry." So he took the sword and really went for his head. The sword went straight through, as if it's through air, and he hit the ground. And he lost his balance and fell down. So he asked, "What is this?" He said, "This is not this or that, this is Shiva. This is not this or that. If it is this or that, then it has qualities. This is neither this nor that. This is Shiva, this is that which is not."